Whenever there's a collapse of historic levels in the playoffs, there's typically some sort of dysfunction that follows. There were already seeds in place surrounding Deandre Ayton, and you could see what's happening now coming from a mile away, but yet for some reason, everything still feels a bit surreal. This past season, the Suns grabbed not only the best record in the league, but also the best record in franchise history at 64-18. And yet, some fans think the sky is falling, when in my opinion, they shouldn't. Look, yes, CP3 is 37, has had injury problems, and isn't getting any younger. But just because CP3 isn't young, that doesn't mean that your team is old. Let's be real, the Suns' best player this past season wasn't CP3. Narratives aside, it was Devin Booker. Booker hasn't even reached his prime. He's only getting better and has shown the hunger that elite players need. Just check out Book's evolution. This guy is seriously a two-way player now. This Suns team is loaded with young talent that's improving. The worst thing that they could do this offseason, in my opinion, is overreact. This video, we have a lot to talk about, but before we go any further, let's get a word from our sponsor. Guys, I want to give a major shout out to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. They definitely came in the clutch. So if you guys can tell what Raycon was already, they're basically the best earbuds on the market. Their everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they don't budge, trust me. What I really love is the versatility of Raycon. I'm able to wear these while I get shots up and not miss a beat. I could enter my own world with their noise isolation feature, or I could stay alert with their awareness mode and hear everything that's going on around me. Actually, I think somebody's calling me right now. Now, if everything I said already wasn't enough, you also get 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. They also offer wireless charging. You get this high-quality audio at half the price of other premium brands. I mean, I guess that's why they have over 49,000 5-star reviews. If you click the link in the description box, or go to buyraycon.com/decoop, not only do you get 15% off of your Raycon purchase, but you also support my channel. Once again, guys, I want to give a major shout out to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. I know that there are going to be some Suns fans that don't like the fact that I brought up the collapse that happened, but the truth is, that collapse added yet another confusing dimension to the Deandre Ayton saga. Throughout Game 7, Deandre Ayton looked disinterested, but he wasn't the only Sun who did. There was more than enough blame to go around. Ultimately, the Suns would fail to take advantage of what was a great opportunity for DA, given the matchup and that Ayton would get benched. As a Pelicans fan, this was infuriating, because against my Pelicans, who are a much bigger team than the Dallas Mavericks, there were times where he looked flat out unstoppable. He got buckets on the block, and his in-between game was a nightmare to account for in the pick and roll. Guys, Ayton averaged 17 and 10 this past season on 63% from the field. Call me crazy, but with more volume, I think he has the ability to truly score with some of the best centers in the game. Now, I'm not saying that Ayton would immediately be pushing 30 given more opportunity, but I could definitely see him pushing 23, 24, or 25 points. What would be stopping him other than himself? When Monty was asked why Ayton only plays 17 minutes in an elimination game, he said that it's internal. When Monty would be asked if Ayton was part of the Suns' long-term plans, he would say this: "Deandre's situation is something that we'll deal with this summer. I don't want to say anything in regards to that. James and I are going to have conversations about the team in general." This will be a surprising answer from one of the most player coaches in the league. Monty Williams seems like one of those guys that you'd really have to try to frustrate. He's always calm, cool, and collected. Now here's a reminder that Woj stated that going into this season that Deandre Ayton didn't feel valued by the Phoenix organization. Why, you ask? Well, because money talks. This is a former #1 pick that we're talking about, who again, might I add, has been pretty freaking good. Last season it was clear the Suns didn't view Ayton as a 5-year max player, and in my opinion this is in large part due to how he was used. The Suns want to pay Ayton for the way that they use him and not what he's capable of doing, which is usually the way that a lot of massive upside 23-year-olds are paid. The irony that sacrificing his role may come back to bite him has to be brutal. Then again, maybe not too brutal, since reportedly teams will be lining up to sign Ayton to the max if the Suns really don't want to. According to Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report, The Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons, Portland Trail Blazers, Charlotte Hornets, and San Antonio Spurs have all been mentioned as potential suitors for Deandre Ayton. I've even seen reports that Lillard would love to play with Ayton. Note that Portland has the number 7 pick in this year's draft, and they're leaning win now. Portland is in a really weird situation. If you guys want me to break it down in another video, just let me know. Honestly, if I was the Suns last season, I would have force-fed Ayton to not only help gauge if he was max worthy, but also to raise his trade value if we already didn't view him as a max player, and we knew this conflict would arise again. I know the Suns had their sights set on a chip, but would have featuring Ayton more really have hurt Phoenix? This is a guy that averaged 20 points and 10 boards on 67% from the field in the 15 games that Chris Paul did not play with him. Now, given this is a relatively small sample size that occurred last season, my point remains the same. He did this while only logging 30 minutes a game. According to The Athletic, sources have told them more likely than not that Ayton plays somewhere else other than Phoenix next season. Is this really any shock after the fact that Ayton's agent said that we're disappointed? We wanted a max contract? He went out and was a soldier the whole year, played well, improved his statistics, so we're proud of him. A lot of guys handle things differently, but he was very mature about it. Things will work out for Deandre, he's a valuable player. There's other teams in the league as well. He's a restricted free agent, so we'll see how this process unfolds. Now, regardless of everything surrounding Deandre Ayton right now, one thing's really clear to me, and that's that he's going to be matched by the Phoenix Suns. What I'm trying to say is that the Phoenix Suns are going to basically match any contract that he receives in free agency and say, hey, if you want this guy, you're going to have to trade for him. I've seen a lot of reports saying that if he truly does leave, a sign-and trade is the only option. My question to you guys is, what does a sign-and trade package for Ayton look like at this point? Do you guys think that Ayton will be in Phoenix next season, given that the Suns still control Ayton's destiny at the end of all of this? There's always the possibility that the Suns match Ayton, try to act like everything's all good, give him the money that he wants, and then trade him at a later time if they don't like the result. Honestly, that would make so much more sense than trading him right now, unless things are way beyond the point of reconstruction. You guys know how I feel about this situation. I hope that these reports are all posturing and that the Suns really recognize what they have in Ayton. And I also hope that he plays with more consistent energy going forward. For my Suns fans, I can imagine that things can be tough right now. I know firsthand how hard it can be to overcome questionable ownership or ownership that cuts corners. I'm still not over the Tyson Chandler trade that went down in New Orleans. People like to talk about Lob City. I'm not even going to go there right now. In the comments below, let me know what team you guys would most like to see Ayton on. I've seen a lot of people say that Luka and Ayton would be filthy. I don't know how realistic that one is, but I do agree. Again, let me know what you guys think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop. Until our next upload.